Hola, hola. I haven't been on this channel for a long ass time, and here's why. I just don't make money on this channel. So I had to get my priorities straight, and I have to give my attention to what makes me money, which are my other sites, blah, 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 blah. That's not really why I'm here, but that's why I've been absent. But I don't know. I've had, since the last video I did, this whole vision of what I should do to this channel to kind of make it different from my main channel. Because I don't want to have to be one of those YouTubers that has different channels, but it's pretty much the same thing. Like, what's the point? Just keep it all on the one channel. And lately, I've been really, I guess, re-inspired that I need to take the time and effort to work on this channel, because it doesn't have to do with the money. It doesn't really have to do with views. Hey, it's great to get the views, don't get me wrong. But it has to do with more of, I am aware that people that I have known in my personal life watch my stuff. And so I'm literally changing the vibe of this channel to talk straight to people who either I don't talk to anymore because of whatever reason, or they're not open to having these conversations with me on the phone, face to face, or in text, because maybe they don't want to, they want to hear what I have to say, but they don't want to be in a conversation with me. So here I am, you know. It's really crazy because, like, in the last few years, that's when I've been really aware of who watches my channel, aside from fans or people who stumble across my videos that don't know me. People who I talk about in these videos and maybe not say their names or whatever, they're watching. Or people who maybe need to hear a story I have to say to help them in any way, shape, or form heal, they're watching. So let's get right into it, shall we? The new revamp of Shelly Martinez vlogs on YouTube. So today I want to talk about this crazy ex-boyfriend I had. I had this crazy ex-boyfriend. We started going together when I was a senior in high school, and we finally broke up. We finally broke up when I was about, I think, like 22. This relationship was very toxic. He was mentally and physically abusive, and really my first real boyfriend. And I say that because I had other boyfriends before him, but my mom growing up always had me on lockdown. So I would only be able to see like my little boyfriends at school, and that's it. And to me, that didn't allow me to have the full experience of having like a boyfriend. And this was the first time I was allowed to have a boyfriend, which is really weird that my mom allowed this dude when he was like the worst boyfriend I ever had. Anyway, so he was a couple years older than me. He was the brother of a friend I had in junior high and high school that I was really tight with. And what really sucks is when he and I got together, that's when my relationship with his sister pretty much ended, and there was a whole shift in our whole friendship, which sucked. And to this day, like, we're still friends on Facebook and everything, but we never were close like we were, and that really sucks because she was like a true homegirl for going to junior high and high school, which is a real pivotal time, you know? So I just can't believe, and I was thinking back of how I was going to talk about this, the beginning stages of my relationship with him. I remember I was at my friend's house, which was his sister, and another friend of mine and I were in the living room, and we heard the ex-boyfriend. At the time, we weren't together or anything. He was just my friend's brother at that time, in his room with his then girlfriend. And he was yelling at her in such an ugly way, like, just like ugly. And I don't know why, but no, I do know why now. I was gonna say I don't know why I even gave this guy the time of day after hearing how he was talking to his then girlfriend, but I understand it now because growing up, that's how my dad used to be to my mom. very toxic, very abusive, again, mentally and physically. Just said the worst things just to hurt her. So no wonder why I grew up in this like effed up situation where that was like a norm. So when this dude's over there in the other room acting out like that, sadly, it was normal to me and I was attracted to it. And from that moment on, I was like, oh, okay. And so I remember the first time like we ever went out, we went to the movies, and I just like felt really sick the whole time. And I remember like when we were in the movies, he like put his hand on my leg and it made me want to throw up. And for some reason, dude, that darkness was just calling to me, and I just kept giving him the time of day. Then we transpired into a full-on relationship. And at first it was fine, of course. And then came these outbursts. And it was crazy because it was like, I remember the first time he like really, and when I say yelled, it's like a psychotic person just going off on you. It reminded me of when I heard him in his room that time with his girlfriend. And I'll never forget the first time he ever put his hands on me. It was really ugly. Like, I was trying to leave and I turned my back to him when I was leaving his house, and he like hit me like right here. So I fell down, and his sister was there at the time, and she ran across the street and called the police. And when the police came, I didn't want to rat him out, but I didn't know what to do. And then I remember they had us separated, and I was in the living room and he was in the kitchen. And then the cop was asking me what happened, and I could hear him tell the other cop, I would never put my hands on her. I would just never do that. And I looked at him, and he was just like looking at me. And I remember the cop was like, just ignore him. I'm talking to you. Like, just tell me what's going on. And then I covered for him, and the cop was just like, he knew, and he was just like, I really hope you get out of this because this isn't a good situation. And of course I didn't, and it just was this whole long, crazy, toxic relationship where he tore me down, dude. He just tore me down. And he'd always guilt me into forgiving him and that he was going to change. And like, there was another time where he called me because I broke up with him and I was staying away from him. And he called me and told me he was at the hospital because he was like freaking out and like having some health issues. So of course I go to the hospital. He's totally fine. I wouldn't give him what he wanted, which was for me to be back with him. And at the time I had a Camaro and it had T-tops, and he went out there and remember you guys back in the day, I'm probably dating myself, but when the club, we used to put the club on our steering wheel so no one steal it. He got out of his car, the club, and started bashing in on my windows. And my friend was with me when I went to the hospital, and we were inside my car when he was doing this. To this day, I have a scar like for where the glass cut me, like on my upper thigh. And I called the cops. He went to jail. I had to go to court over it, but I still got back together with him. He's pulled guns out on me. And this dude, like, I was always a really petite girl, always like 110, 115 pounds at that time. And this guy was, I'm 5'5". This guy is like 6'3", 6'4", very filled out, athletic kind of vibes. And he just like, I remember when I first started getting into wrestling, I had this necklace on and it had a wrestler that I was a fan of, their like logo on it. And I remember he like twisted it and started choking me, and he was like, you're probably gonna F this wrestler, blah, blah. Like, it was just like crazy. But wrestling is what really helped me get away from this dude, because one of the last times he put his hands on me, like I never fought back because I was scared. Like it was just like this scary thing. But I finally kind of fought back. Like I remember he was on top of me, and being in wrestling training, I just learned how to manipulate my body more, how to flip people over and things like that. So I just remember I like got him off of me, and he was so shocked. Like he couldn't believe it. And when it happened and he registered it, he just like clocked me. And it's so crazy because when I finally broke up with him for good, he went off to date other girls, and then like later in life they came like hitting me up online, and then I ended up talking to them on the phone, and they were going through the same things. I guess he would bring me up a lot to them, and it's really sick that there's people like that out there who, especially after I became a wrestler and everything, they use that they were with me as a way to like mess with their current person they're with. So that's what was going on. And the reason why I decided that this was going to be my first topic on like talking about domestic violence on here and abuse and being in toxic relationships. And by the way, toxic relationships don't have to be romantic. It can be friendships or family members. Was because recently one of my friends is in a situation where her boyfriend's very toxic. Sorry, Minnie's over there on guard. A lot of the things that she's been going through with this boyfriend triggers me to thinking of this relationship. So it just reminded me there's a lot of people out there that feel stuck, because I felt stuck for 5 years. I couldn't break away. I felt like I was never going to break away, and either I had to find a way out or he was going to kill me. That's how I felt, straight up. And it's so crazy that to this day, like it's been like 20 years since I've been with this person, yet I'm so heavily affected, and I have nightmares about this person. I have anxiety that I live with from some of the stuff, the trauma that he just put onto me. And I know I'm not the only one. There's, like I said, there was those couple other girls who reached out to me after he dated them after me. And I just wanted to open up that kind of conversation. And I'm sure there's gonna be many other videos where I go into more detail about different situations I've been in with this particular person. Because something that I promised myself after I finally broke away and broke up with this guy for good was that I would never let anyone or anything make me feel that way again. And the next time anyone ever made me feel that much disrespect was when I had my infamous fight with Batista in WWE that ultimately was the last straw that got me fired. And that's why I decided that it was, I knew if I were to defend myself verbally, of course, to Batista at that time, that I was probably going to lose my job. But I didn't care, because I couldn't believe that for the first time somebody made me feel, especially somebody I was never even romantically involved with or anything, made me feel that same energy that ex-boyfriend made me feel. And I made that promise to myself. And anytime I've had a boyfriend after that or dated somebody that gave me those same vibes, I was out with no turning back. My last wrestling boyfriend, I saw a lot of the same patterns, and I was just like, ew, no. I broke up with him, never gave him the time of day after that. So it's like, I'm hoping that me sharing my experience with this toxic relationship can help somebody out there that, again, feels stuck, or they can't get out, or maybe they did get out, but sometimes they like find themselves still talking to this person or whatever. I just want to give people hope that you're not alone, first of all. You can break free, and that you're probably going to be effed up for the rest of your life and live with it, but it's about what you do with that negative energy and what you can turn it into. Like for me, as I mentioned, it allowed me to learn about people. There's people like that out there. Up until meeting this guy, the only person that I knew that was like that was my dad. And so now there's two people who I experienced that are supposed to be a protector of me, that I'm supposed to be able to trust. And that's just not the case. And that both of them were so like sociopaths to where they knew how to play me and pull on my heartstrings to get me back so under their control, to get what they wanted. And I think it's something that, I mean, I've been talking on Twitter about it for a while now. So I thought, why not bring it to this channel, talk about it, get a little bit more in detail about certain things so that people just know they're not alone. And if you're watching this and you're like, looked me up because you know that I dated your ex-boyfriend or your current boyfriend and you're wondering what the deal is, I'll say this. I'm not saying any last names, so no one can come for me. If you came to find this video to find out if your boyfriend or ex-boyfriend, Jason, is somebody you need to stay away from, let this video be proof to you that yes, that is somebody you need to stay away from. I haven't spoken to him. I don't keep in touch with him. I'm hoping that he got the help that he needed to heal himself, not just for his sake, but for the sake of the people's lives that he F's up by being in relationships with them. But yeah, and if you're Jason and you're watching this, this isn't to talk shit about you or whatever. You know the deal. And you know what happened, and you know what you've done, and you know what you've done to other people. And I really, really hope that you've made the right changes in your life. Because it's one thing to say you're going to change, but you need action. And with no action to back up your words, you might as well just save your breath. And maybe you're somebody watching that you could totally relate to all that. Let this video be I guess, what's the right word I'm looking for? Confirmation that you can leave the situation, you can move forward. And I'm going to say this. Whenever I deal with my trauma with this whole situation, it makes me so grateful that the person that I've been with for many, many years now is nothing like Jason. The complete opposite. Would never ever want to make me feel the way that dude made me feel. It's real love. It's unconditional love. So if you feel like, who's gonna love me? Who's gonna want me? I'm damaged. No. There's somebody out there that's gonna want to help you and not fix you, but just help you. Help you by how they treat you. Help you by the things that they do. Help you by being a good man or woman. Being solid and being somebody that you can trust. Being somebody that you can feel safe with. So I hope this resonates with somebody out there. Sending everyone else positive vibes. I look forward to sharing more just deeper dive into the different trauma and toxic relationships I've had, and just healing, because it's effing hard. It's really, really hard. And if you are a professional wrestler and you're watching this, it's super hard when you're in wrestling. It's super hard when you're dating and having this kind of situation with another wrestler, because it changes the whole thing, because it's like what you do for a living. And when you're a professional wrestler, it's like, it's not just a job, it's your lifestyle. So to all my professional wrestlers out there that can relate to this, send you guys extra positive vibes, because it's really, really hard, especially when someone tries to blackmail you by screwing you over in your career or trying to get you not booked or whatever. It's like that just takes it to another level, and that really, really sucks. All right. Until next time, I'm Shelly from Kelly, and I'll be smelling you guys later. Adios.